Today's lecture is about the applications of linear algebra in cryptography. So we will see in the example how the linear algebra can be used for encrypting or encoding any message. So let's see. We want to send a message good morning that is supposed not to be hacked by the any hacker. So all right, for this the technique that is being used for the cryptography is to assign all the alphabets with some integer values starting from 0, and then in the ascending order this order or the starting value can be changed. So for example, for the time being I am using, or I have assigned A as 0, then B is assigned the value 1, and so on. You can see the alphabets are assigned different values. Similarly, if your text contains certain blanks or a question mark or exclamation sign, then you can assign similar in the same way in the different integer values to them. So for the time being, we are sending a message that is actually composed of how many letters? G double O D, and then there is a blank, you can see, then MORNING. So the total number of the alphabets including this space are equal to 12. All right, so I have written a G, or assigned the value G is equal to 6 as per the order selected in the above. So G equals to 6, and similarly O is assigned 14, then again 14, and D is assigned the value equal to 3, and so on. You can see I got this sequence of the numbers from this arrangement that we have chosen. After doing that, we have broken our this list into the column vectors of a 3 elements. So all right, we have actually selected our column vectors having 3 entries. We can choose the column vectors of the larger entries, but just for keep our her calculation simpler, we have chosen this sequel. The next task is to encrypt these messages. So basically this is my message 1, this is my message 2, message 3, and message 4. Basically I have actually broken down my original message into the smaller vectors. Then I am going to choose a key. Let's say it's a matrix, or the preferably a square matrix, and the property of the square matrix should be like that it should be the singular matrix. Why? Because if I am choosing a phenomena of the multiplication for encrypting our message, then for the decryption or while decrypting my message I have to find the inverse of the matrix. So that's why the non-singular matrix is chosen. You can also see later on how it will work. So I have chosen a very simpler key for encrypting my message, and then I have written, or I have done what, the matrix is actually being multiplied with my first message, and it results into 6, 26, and 34. All right, similarly the next message is again multiplied with the key, and you can see how these actual or original messages are being transformed into some new sequence of the messages. So I will multiply all my 4 messages with the key that I have chosen for the encryption. Now you can see over here the messages that are now ready for the transmission have been transformed into some other messages, and this sequence, if you try to decode this sequence, then you can see 6 was corresponding to G. So the first letter that will be, that you can predict is G, that is all right. But what comes next, it's 26, and 26, as we can see from the previous encoding scheme, 26 corresponds to blank, so it will cause as, or it can be written as G then blank. So this is actually not the original message. All right, it has been hidden and it has been encrypted. Now we will see how the receiver can decrypt this message. One of the cryptography rule is that the key that is used for encrypting the message must be known both to the senders and the receivers. So the receiver, after receiving the message, can decrypt it easily or decode it easily. All right, Let's assume, rather doing this sequence, let's say the receiver actually receives this sequence. I have chosen this sequence so that I can do it in the smaller steps, but you can also take the same approach for decoding this message. I am leaving this as an exercise for you guys. All right. uh, Next is, let's see if a receiver has this sequence of the numbers, then how he or she can decrypt this message. So let's say our message 1 is actually a vector, again a column vector having 3 entries. This is my message 1 and this is my message 2. All right. And next we want to find actually what is the original message after which we got this at the receiving side. So let's say the inverse of that matrix that we previously used as a key is equal to this. Now we know that if A into original message gives us this at the receiving side, then how can we find the original message? As we can find it by multiplying this received message with the inverse of A. This is a very simple rule of solving the systems of linear equations. I have taken the same approach. The first step is to find the inverse of the encrypt for the key, and then x1 is found as A inverse into my first message that is received at the receiving side. This gives me 19, 7 and 0. Similarly, x2 results in 13, 10 and 18. And if you actually write down this sequence and then encode it as per the previous sequence, means 0 corresponds to A, 1 corresponds to B and so on, you will receive the original message that was actually equal to thanks.